Hi everyone. Okay, so really quick here. I'm also demoing some of these to show you how to cover dark under eye circles. So that'll be in another video here. Um, but I want to go over the different foundations and concealers that we have and what's best for each skin type. If you don't know your skin type, you probably should because it'll make a big difference in the products that you buy. So most of you probably do know, you just either don't think about it or whatever. But basically, you have dry skin, which is like no matter what you do, your skin's always flaking, it's always dry. Um, it's patchy, so that way, you know, when you put your makeup on, sometimes it cakes in those areas that are dry. Then you have a combination skin, which is, well, you have normal skin, which normal skin, you're not really dry, you're not really oily, you're just, you know, normal. You don't have a lot of blemishes, you don't need a ton of coverage for things, so you have normal skin. Then you have combination skin, which is where you tend to be oily in the T-zone, so T, forehead and down your nose and chin, and then your cheeks and other areas tend to be more dry. So that's a combination skin. I feel like a lot of people are combination skin. And then you have people like me who are just oily all the time. It feels like no matter where I touch my face, I'm just greasy all the time. So, so I do things to minimize my oiliness, and you have to kind of work with your skin depending on your skin type. So let's go over foundations and what is good for each skin type. So if you are dry skinned, you will probably take well to, this is actually the powder, but the cream foundation comes in the same container. It's just cream instead of powder inside. So you will like the creams, you will like the BB cream, and you will probably like our liquid as well. So our liquid's pretty versatile. It kind of goes for everyone. So this literally great for everyone. That's why it became such a big hit. That's why it like went crazy and went all over the place. What it does is it goes on like a liquid. It's very thin though. It's almost got a watery consistency. Um, but it takes very little. It's very thin. But when it, as you're putting it on, it dries. Like while you're putting it on, it dries to a powder finish. So tons of people love this. And it's actually, yeah, I use this with the powder over it for me personally. This dries to a like semi-matte finish, kind of gives you a little satiny look, and so then I use the powder over it to give me even more of a matte finish. Since I have oil, I don't like shininess for myself at all. So that's that. Let's discuss these BB creams a little bit. It's like you go to the store and you just see masses of foundation products and, you know, BB cream, CC cream, regular foundation, you have the cream foundations, powder foundations, there's all these different foundations and you're like, what in the world do I use for myself? And how do I not spend $1,000 trying to find a product that works for me and my skin tone, or my skin? So you have to choose what works for your skin, and that's what, you know, we just talked about the different skin types. Baby Flawless works the best for normal, some combination people, but I feel like the combination people tend to not like their oiliness as much, so they tend to go more towards the anti-oil or the drier products. But normal to dry, definitely will love this, and some of our combination people will love it too. What else you will love about it is it's not a heavy coverage, okay? So if you don't have a ton of blemishes, your skin is pretty well-rounded, you know, you don't have a ton of stuff to cover, but you just like to have a little bit on to look like you've smoothed, and, you know, no matter what, we always have a little bit of discoloration in our skin or unevenness. And so this is a nice light coverage that totally fills in any unevenness. It's also got a non-oily moisturizer in it. It's a lightweight moisturizer. So for those of you with the dry skin and the normal skin, sometimes you like the extra moisture, especially in the wintertime. And so these are amazing. You can use the liquid foundation brush to apply this. I know a ton of people like to use our beauty blending buds. That's so hard for me to say sometimes. And where's my other one? Yes. This is a regular foundation brush. This one was created with our liquid just because I don't know, the way with the recessed finish and how thin our liquid is, this was why they created this brush. This one works with the liquid, but it's more flat. It doesn't have like, you know, the nice little kabuki style brush to it. And so it just takes a little bit longer to blend with this one. But a lot of people like to use this with our BB creams. So just a little FYI on brush. This is a little side note on brushes. When we first came out with the liquid foundation, I'm kind of all over the place. I'm really sorry. My thoughts are scattered today. But with the liquid foundation, we used to apply it with a powder puff brush, and that was like how we promoted it. And then all of a sudden, all these makeup artists that the company has working for them are going, no, 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 no. The powder brushes that Younique has, so our powder puff brush that Younique has, this is not it, this is a different one. It's a natural bristle brush. It is meant to be used with dry products, which is why it's a powder brush. And the difference between the synthetic brushes and the natural brushes work great for dry products only. You can use the synthetic for dry or liquid, but the synthetic brushes are all you want to use if you use liquid products. If you use natural bristle brushes with liquid products, it will break them down. And so anybody who bought our, because our blush brush is also the same, so our powder puff brush looks like the blusher brush, except it's bigger and poofier, but it's got the same bristles. And so these are natural bristles, and so a lot of people were using these with our liquid foundation, and next thing you know, it works, but you get little black hairs all over. You have to brush those off every time you use it. So that is my little side note. Synthetic brushes for liquid products only. Natural brushes, or I guess the synthetic, you can use them for both, but natural brushes, natural bristles, use only for dry products. So that is something huge that I learned, and I did not know that before Younique. But anyway, our BB creams, great for the normal to dry skin and people that don't need a lot of coverage. So tons of people love this. And if you want the extra moisture and you do need more coverage, just follow it up with the powder. Just brush a little layer of the powder over it and it'll give you that moderate to full coverage. So pretty awesome stuff. So a lot of people love these BB creams. I'm not huge on them. I use them sometimes in the wintertime when I'm just doing like light coverage, but I usually like a little more coverage than that. My skin is not the best. So that's those. One last thing about the BB creams, a lot of people use these for highlighting and contouring. You buy a light one and a dark one, and they're really good for blending, for highlighting and contouring. So that's that. Our original concealer, this is called a mineral concealer powder. Our regular concealer that we just came out with, the skin perfecting concealer that everyone talks about, is actually a liquid. And this is the one that has like the really full coverage. This is super light coverage. It gives you a little bit of a like, like a dewy look. Kind of gives you like a little bit of a shine. It's got light enhancers in it. So the light one really is like, you could use this as your powder over this for under eye circles. But most people were using this. This is what Younique originally came out with, to be kind of like Bare Minerals powder, loose powder. So people use this on their whole face. So I did used to use this because I liked using just the powder, and then I'd use my regular pressed powder over it to get more coverage. But when they came out with the liquid foundation, this is my go-to now. But this used to be what I used. It's a light coverage, but it kind of just evens your skin tone. But it's very lightweight. And so if you don't need, once again, if you don't need a ton of coverage and you don't want the extra moisture, this is a super easy powder. You just use like a powder brush, like big poofy powder brush with it. So that's that. Then we have a cream powder duo. And they actually have a set 2 for $60, and you can get either 2 creams, 2 powders, or one of each. You don't have to just get a cream and a powder. So if you know you like the powder foundations, you can get 2 and get the deal still, and you don't have to get the cream. But The cream foundations are good, again, for the normal to dry skinned people, but I mean, they say that it's got moderate coverage. I find that people expect it to have more coverage than it does. So if you're wanting more coverage, go with the liquid. But some people, especially people who have used cream foundations in the past, they tend to love it. And you use, the cream comes the same way. It's got a little window just like this that keeps your sponge out of your foundation. This one's the powder, and so you just apply the cream, and you can use that by itself if you just need a light coverage, or if you want more full coverage, apply your powder over it. Are you guys catching my drift yet that I absolutely love this powder? Because seriously, it's amazing for everyone. I love it. So yeah, and then the oily skin people, our liquid foundation does great for oily skin. I have oily skin, it works awesome for it. But I always do cover it with our powder foundation. So like you combination skinners out there or normal skin, you could use this by itself. You might not necessarily need the powder if you don't need the extra coverage. So you have to base your choices off of how much coverage you need and your skin type. So we have products that are good for oily skin, that are good for dry skin, and anything in between. But why people like certain products is how much coverage it gives them. So if you don't, but I will say every single foundation product that we have is lightweight. So even when I apply the liquid and the powder over it, I still don't feel like I have anything on my skin. That's the beauty of our products. You use such a small amount, but it gives you amazing coverage. So we have coverages for everyone, depending on lightweight, moderate to full coverage. It just depends on what you want for your skin, but they're all lightweight to feel, to touch. So lightweight on your skin. They don't feel heavy, and that's what a lot of people love about our foundation products is when you apply them, you don't feel like you have much on, no matter which one you use. So if you have questions, you're not sure which kind you like, let me know. And I have just a couple more minutes here, but last but not least, when you are choosing your foundation, you want a foundation that somewhat matches your neck, okay? You don't want something too dark to where when you turn, your neck is super white compared to it. Otherwise, that's when you get that line. Even though we do teach you when you apply it, I don't know where my brush, there it is. When you apply it, you take it down your neck so that way it blends it down and you don't get that line. But still, you want a foundation that matches your skin everywhere. We talk about neutral skin tones that have more red, skin tones that have more yellow. If you look at the veins on the inside of your wrist, if they look blue, then you have red skin tones. If they look green, then you have yellow skin tones. And if you can't tell, then you're neutral. If you burn easily, you probably have more red in your skin. If you tan easily, you have more yellow in your skin. And if you kind of do both, like I'll burn if I'm out in the sun too long or if I have sunscreen, but if I stay out moderately, I will tan very well. So I have neutral skin tone all the way around. I think that's pretty much it. So figuring out your skin tone and your skin type and how much coverage you need, that's how you choose your foundation products. And if you need help with that, let me know and I'll walk you through the steps. So I can help color match and everything. And if you have any questions at all, let me know. That's what I'm here for. All right. Bye, girls.